Okay, now we're going to be dealing with range. Now, range is fairly simple, but it can get a little bit confusing in special cases. Now, remember, we started off by collecting data. We then organized the data, and now we're summarizing data. So we started how to get the data into tables, how to make it look more pretty, essentially, and easier to manipulate. Then we looked at the mean, which is the sum of all data values divided by the number of data values. We looked at the medium or the middle value, the mode, and now we're going to do the range. Lastly, we're going to be representing data, or that's actually in the next videos. So by the end of this video, we're going to fill the formula in this box over here. Right, so range is the difference between the lowest and highest values in a data set. Range is the size of the data set. Range is essentially the largest value minus the smallest value. The three important things you need to know for the range are the difference between the lowest and the highest value. These are the three things you need to remember when doing range. It's very easy. Let's have a look at an example. We have a data set. Now we want to first put this data set in an ordered list. Now, you don't have to put it in an ordered list, but I would strongly recommend, and it's what you must do in a test or while you're learning it. It is much easier, because then you can very easily see the highest and lowest value. So because we put this in the order, we could see that 3 was the lowest and 17 was the highest. And that's what we have here, 3 and 17. So 3 and 17. So what is the range of this value? I'm going to just show you this. You might be able to work this out very easily as 17 minus 3. But on our number line, we have 0 or 0, we have 3, and we have 17. So range is the size of this gap between 3 and 17. And you can probably quite easily work it out that it's 17 minus 3, which is equal to 14. Okay, let's now look at example 2. I've just cleared it to make it a little bit less messy. We have the same range, but now we have a -4 in the range, right? So we've got to make an ordered list, -4 all the way up to 17, right? So -4 is our smallest and 17 is our biggest. Don't get confused here. Let's draw this number line just to have a look. We have 0, we have -4, and we have 17. Now remember, the range is like we had here, it's the distance or the size between those two values. The range is the size here. So we know that from 0 to 17, we have 17, and from 0 to 4, we actually have 4. So that will be our range. But let's work it out. The 17 minus -4. Now, it's so important that now in grade 8, we know that when we minus a minus sign, it becomes a positive. So there's actually what we're doing here is we're timesing that. And a minus times a minus is a positive. So that is going to give us 21. So it's very important to remember this with the minus. 17 minus -4 is equal to 21. Because minus times a minus becomes a plus. So that is equal to 17 plus 4. Right. We filled in our formula here now. And we simply need to know that the range is the largest value minus the smallest value. Next, we're going to move on to representing data. Okay, now I want to show you how we can also use the range on Excel. Now, Excel is a very important tool that you can use in the future, and it's most likely a thing that you will be using. And when it comes to statistics and data, it's great. So let's do the first example. Now remember, the range is the maximum minus the minimum, or the largest value minus the smallest value. Now Excel, if you go equals range, you'll find it doesn't have a range function. So it does have a maximum and minimum function. So let's figure out the maximum. What is the maximum the number in this data set here? So we equals, close brackets, and we find that it's 54. What is the minimum value in this data set here? And we select it all, we close it, and we figure out the minimum is 0. So now range is equals the maximum minus the minimum. That easy, and we get that's 54. What if we change this smallest value to 5? It would all update automatically. What if we changed it to -5? It would update automatically again. So build this for yourselves, try and fill out these answers here, pause the video, and see if you can figure out the answers. Good luck, play around, and have fun.